Hey you guys, and welcome back to Love for Plants. I am finally getting to plant my Hawaiian Pothos. I told you guys I would do that the other day. I did not get to it. So what I have been doing is having just the roots sit in the water, just where the nodes are. If you are getting a cutting and you don't have time to plant it, you want to give it some water. So what I did, I took this out of the box the other day with you guys. I let it sit, no water, no nothing, just on the counter for about 4 to 5 hours, just to let it acclimate to our temperature. It came from Florida. I live in Ohio. So it is starting to get chilly here, so I let that acclimate first. Then, because I knew I wasn't getting to it that night, I went ahead and I filled a container of water, and I just set both of these in here. And this one is not all the way in. It's pretty much from here down in, so I do have that root in water. That is good enough. So now I'm like, Erin, you got to get it potted. So here we are. I went ahead and I picked out a pot size. I want to show you guys. This one's a little bit deeper than I want. This one is not wide enough. So we're improvising. I'm going here. I do have a bigger pot. You guys, this is too big, okay? Don't start with something like this. I really don't even like to start with something this size because the more dirt and more water you have in there for no roots, the more chance you have of your roots rotting. That means they're going to be sitting here in all this moisture, all this wetness. So I have to be very careful, which brings me to make sure there are holes in the bottom of your pot. You guys, a lot of people lose their plants because they overwater them. And it's not so much that they overwater them. They don't have drainage in their pots. So all that water is just sitting down here at the bottom, killing your roots, okay? It's killing your plants. So make sure no matter what kind of container you have, it has holes in it. This is not pretty, you guys. I know this container is not pretty. If you want something pretty, take this pot, sit it in a pretty container, let it root. I always have more success growing my plants in ugly pots than these big ceramic pots that don't dry out, okay? So use your ceramic pots, let things be pretty. Just sit these inside of those, okay? So I did not pick this container because let me show you. My node from side to side is bigger. I am actually going to tilt it in, but this one is longer than this one. So because I want to plant both of them in the same pot, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this one. Now, when you go ahead and you start repotting, this soil is dry. Now, if you guys have ever watered soil, you know that new soil takes forever to actually saturate. So if you're one that is only just going to barely water the top and be like, oh, it looks like it's wet, then you need to go ahead and you need to water all your dirt, mix the water and dirt together, squeeze out the water, and then put that dirt in your container. That way you make sure your plant is going to have enough moisture. I'm a pretty good waterer, so I'm going to water this when I'm done. But if you do that and you water when you're done, make sure you slowly water, let it seep through. Slowly water, let it seep through. It's a long process, but that's the process I enjoy. So I went ahead and I filled this. I'm actually going to put this plant in at an angle. Now, I don't want to just stuff it in here and hurt my roots, because there are a couple roots on here. So what I'm doing is I'm moving the dirt with my hand just to make room, okay? And then I'll move that dirt back in the way. Now this plant is not going to go all the way to the bottom. You can still see the back of the node right there. You can cover the whole node, you guys, that's fine. But I am not with this plant. This one is going to actually go in completely up and down vertically. And I am prepared, you guys, to lose this leaf. I'm prepared for it. Normally when you're repotting or potting something that was just propagated, your roots are very, very delicate. So messing with them, risk your plant, which is why I'm okay with losing that leaf. It's probably going to happen. Now, this is going to be a heavy pot, as in this one right here is pretty heavy. So I'm going to have a tendency of it knocking over. Once again, if you want to use your big ceramic pots, put this in there. That'll help hold this pot up, okay? Now that I have those in how I want it, I am just going to put dirt right on the top. And you guys, this may seem like too much dirt because you're not going to see anything other than the stems and maybe the end of this one because he's not down far enough. But I am overfilling it because when I water, all that dirt is going to get weight on it and it's going to go down. So I like to start by putting too much dirt in. And gently push it down. Don't go hard at it. Those roots are young. Okay, now he is standing on his own. I do want him to stand on his own, so that's good. Now, once I water him, the dirt's going to move around. And I'm going to have to hold him while I water him and kind of keep pushing gently down to get him really in there. Whoop! See, he already flipped out. Okay. So maybe we'll push him down a little bit harder. He is a little bit thicker. Okay. And then, you guys, I'm going to take this to the side and I'm going to give it a little bit of a water right now just to hold it in there. We'll see. So I'm just slowly pouring water on top. I know you guys can't see this, but it's just draining, just soaking right through there. That's definitely not enough water. So what I would do is I'm going to let that soak through. Now that the dirt on the top is wet, I can move that around the cutting to kind of hold it in place, okay? So just kind of holding it in place. I'm just going around it with the wet dirt. And see how all that dirt, even though I overfilled it, is falling in. That's what it's going to do once it gets some weight on it. Then I want to just keep watering a little bit at a time. I will have water coming on my table here in a minute. Let me move the camera to the plant. So see, it looks like a heavy water. You guys, that is not enough. So we're going to let that soak in. And then we're going to water the top again. So I do that about 3 times. So it looks really wet on the top, but inside is not wet. Okay, so that's soaked in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to water it one more time. And when I water it, I let the water sit on the top, okay? And then he's soaking in again. And here soon, the water will come out of the pot. He's really soaking in around the node. So this is going to be a really good water. And then, let me get this camera back. What you guys can do is you can push down some of that dirt, again, that wet dirt, to kind of stabilize that plant. Okay? Now, when you water your plants like this that are cuttings, you do want to water them good because they need the water to keep growing roots. You guys, I'm just going to put some dry on the top. I found that kind of helps with gnats a little bit. Having a good couple inches of dry soil on the top. But when you water heavily like this, make sure you let this plant dry out. Don't go ahead and soak this thing every day. It doesn't need soaked every day. So right now there's a lot of weight to it because it has water in it. I will not water it again until I pick it up and it's like weightless. Okay, so when it's completely dried out, I will give it another really good soak. And we will just continue to follow this plant and see how it grows. But I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to get a video made for you guys to show you that, yes, he's finally planted. And I do have the little one over here. So 2 shoots this summer. Come this summer, he should look amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have a wonderful night. And as always, thank you so much for watching.